we're starting to get pictures of Happy Meals and toys and stuff like that. And I would rather see like new characters, new costumes, new whatever in a perfectly composed trailer than in like a weird 2D, somebody took it with their cell phone through a display case kind of a thing. Right. The writer of Deadpool came out and said, well, we're cooked or whatever. Other people have been like, oh, they've finally gotten good enough to replace, whatever.
Yeah.
I have a lot of thoughts on this. I know you have a lot of thoughts too, Gina.
Always. Welcome back to the break room. It's Monday, February 16th. Berg is out, that lazy so-and-so, and he wrote these words for me to say. So my name is Gina Ippolito, and I'm a Snyder bro. Oh, Berg picked the worst thing he could think of. With me, it's the James Gunn to my Snyder, Zach Huddleston.
Feels like he's setting us up as rivals or something like that. I would have thought he would have had an insult for me as well. Again, assuming Snyder's an insult.
I think Zack Snyder is the bigger insult of the two.
Oh yeah, maybe. For sure. James Gunn's kind of in that's a compliment.
He's on an upswing.
Yeah, he's doing good for himself.
Snyder, time to catch up.
Yes. It's Monday. Hey, we're doing our headline show, everybody. Let's roll that beautiful graphic. Oh, there it is. We've got a lot to talk about today. We're going to get into newest updates. We're covering a lot of the IP. We've got a little Marvel, a little DC, a little Star Wars, little corporate merger, little AI stuff. I've actually been AI this whole time. It's finally... I should come out and admit it. There was never a real Zach Huddleston. That's why I often don't make sense.
Yeah. That's why he also has 3 shoulder blades.
That's right. That's why my face is so glitchy. Actually, I was born glitchy. Okay, so first, let's go and lead with some of that Marvel news. We've gotten some trailers recently. We got a new promo spot for Daredevil Born Again Season 2. Fair warning, it does not have any new footage, but it's a cut down, punchier version of the longer spot we've seen. Why don't we give that bad boy a look?
Okay, yeah.
It's fun. Definitely leans into action.
Yeah.
Kind of fun.
It feels like it's the answer to, that first season before they switched showrunners and reworked all the scripts. They were like, hey, it's now a legal procedural. And they're like,
nope.
Get it out of here. Just show them all the action this time so they remember what it was originally.
Yeah, punches and kicks.
Yeah.
Which I don't dislike. And I want to put a pin in this in the tone they're pushing here. So we come back later and talk about Wonder Man marketing. But I think they're definitely like, hey, you want some kind of action adventure? But they're not even playing too heavy into the heavy.
Right.
Which is also a big component of Daredevil traditionally. Also, the kind of darkness.
Yeah,
but they're not,
it's kind of funny at parts. Like they're clearly like, shovel or saw, and then like Charlie Cox sort of like laughing. They're like, hey, you're going to have a good time if you watch this.
And the Jessica Jones kind of wry humor.
Yeah.
Very much, kind of smart-assy.
Right.
Yeah, it looks like a fun time.
Yeah. I'm in.
Hell yeah.
I think season 2 will be like maybe more cohesive than season 1, so I can't wait to see it.
Fingers crossed. We're not too far out. We're a little over a month away. Next, we got an late last week, we got an in-universe trailer for the 1980s Wonder Man film, the movie within the show that Simon Williams grew up watching. They released a full trailer for that movie, so let's roll that now.
So Flash Gordon-y.
The speed. He's not just a hero. He's a wonder.
It's actually a pretty good line. Oh, I kind of want that.
They are selling those things.
I wish lunchboxes were still in fashion. I mean, I know like cute little bento boxes are, but I want like 80s style lunchbox with a picture of like Alf on it or
tin.
something.
I had one of those. I mean, terrible for carrying your lunch, but they were cool as hell.
True. Also,
and you could whack your friends with it.
Yeah. Also, the plastic ones we probably ingested all sorts of microplastics at the time because that was before they knew that was a thing.
Mine was made with lead, so I know took a couple years off my life, a couple IQ points. I did see. I think that's very fun that they did that. We obviously didn't see all of that footage. I don't believe they played all of that in the show.
I don't know. I like a lot of it
they
looked
did.
familiar, but
Yeah.
it's hard to remember if it was because it was so piecemeal. You get like little chunks here and there that maybe it was, but still, it's a fun thing to cut all together.
Yeah, fun to package as the trailer. I did see some internet comments being like, this is supposed to be set in the 80s. It looks like the 60s, right? It's kind of like OG Star Trek almost.
It's very Flash Gordon, very
Because it's like Star Wars came out in 1978, right? Like
there is an element of like, oh yeah, you're going for a very specific aesthetic, and then you had to say it was the 80s.
Yes, which I wonder if it even means like in universe, they're not trying to say Wonder Man was Star Wars.
Right.
In universe, they are trying to say maybe Wonder Man was Battle Beyond the Stars.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, that is the thing. Like, you watch certain 80s movies, like if you watch that, like in that, like 87, like He-Man, Masters of the Universe,
those canon films.
Yeah. Like there is some cheesy stuff, but I agree that the aesthetic, it does make me think of like Buck Rogers, Duck Dodgers.
Even the like very padded suit. The clearly like Southern California, desertscape posing as a.
It's fun. Stop critiquing it, people.
No,
you weren't alive during the 80s, probably.
I voiced those critiques, but no, I like fun stuff, and so we've been getting we got some pre Wonder Man release, but then post release of Wonder Man being all of the kind of binge drop. All of the episodes, there have been kind of more promo things getting
after them before.
Released after the fact. Some clips on YouTube and Twitter. Actually, Jessica Clemens got a text promo from Trevor Slattery. In the text, Trevor says, "Part of an actor's job is to promote their work. I filmed promos for the Wonder Man remake, but they never saw the light of day." Now, I think we're okay to spoil the Wonder Man show. They didn't see the light of day because he gets arrested. Currently,
and recast by a famous Goonies actor.
Yes, Joe Pantoliano. Sorry for spoiling a show that's been out for a few weeks, but Trevor also links us to an unlisted video of his promo, which I think we have that now. We can watch.
Love how committed he is to this.
Hello, I'm Trevor Slattery. Please hold your applause.
It's so weird.
It really is quite good. Maybe you want to see it. I say, see it whenever you believe or like. I'm not reading this. This is spontaneous. What if I did this next bit as a Southern judge? A no-nonsense. Now listen here. I'm coming soon.
It's kind of similar to his
Mandarin voice.
He's so good.
Great.
He's so good.
I would believe those were improvised.
I also like the fact that he is doing a Trevor Slattery accent. That's not his real accent. And in that accent, he's doing a different, weirder accent.
Yes.
It's so good. There's so many layers.
Yeah, God. I mean, Ben Kingsley just has a meal of that role. And I'm so glad he keeps showing up.
Me too. I think when you have a Ben Kingsley, you got to be like, hey, we got an Academy Award winner that's signing on to do TV shows. Like, let's get him in there as much as we can. We
take for granted, in the entire run of Marvel, they have just, as their like seventh name on the call sheet.
Yeah.
Like Robert Redford and William Hurt.
Yeah, and Anthony Hopkins.
Yes.
Yeah, it is insane.
Yeah, literally the bench of Oscar winners they just keep for 10-line roles in all of their movies is wild.
And it's even more insane than when certain people are like, oh, superhero movies are dumb, because it's like, listen, they have more A-list actors in them than Oscar movies half the time.
That's right. So we wanted to kind of use that as an opportunity to broach, we here on Breakroom and kind of in the online discourse around Wonder Man, to broadly summarize it, that show came out, everybody was like, this show's really good. We wish they had promoted it more.
Yeah.
It felt like both with the binge drop, just a lack of kind of big, broad marketing. They didn't even release kind of trailers until pretty close to the release of the show.
Right. There was one billboard in LA, but other than that, there was
they did some stunty stuff along these lines, in-universe stuff, having Yahya Abdul-Mateen show up in character to the Fantastic Four premiere and stuff like that. But, I mean, the idea of promoting a show after it's all of the episodes are already out. Like that's kind of interesting. We could talk about that. But like, I have a take on the overall promotion of this show and why it might not have been a total failure. But like, what have been your thoughts, Gina?
Yeah, I mean, I think like I've said it before, but like the shows that Disney chooses to, specifically the Marvel shows that they choose to like put in a bunch of marketing into and that they choose to not do a binge drop of, tends to be on the whiter side. The Lokis, the Agatha All-Alongs, the WandaVision, and the POC-led projects like Ironheart or Wonder Man or Echo tend to be like a binge drop that they don't promote as much, which is like a terrible look, and I'm sure not a coincidence. I think like this is the first time that I was like, oh, maybe they're going for longevity of like, maybe they don't care about like everyone binge watched it for the first night. Like it was like 18 million people binge watched. Like maybe they're like, hey, the longer we can keep this in the zeitgeist, the better. And so they're sort of like breadcrumbing it. Like they're like, oh, we'll release some Ben Kingsley stuff a week after the show and then 2 weeks after the show. I mean, I think that like my optimistic look is that they knew they had a hit on their hands. They know Dustin Daniel Cretton is great. They know Yaya is great and Ben Kingsley is great. So they were like, hey, let's get not enough people know this character. So let's put the show out, let word of mouth build, and then add to that by promo after the fact. And it kind of seems to be working a little bit. Like I've talked to more and more people who are like, oh man, I heard that was great. Or like, oh, I'm not usually a Marvel guy, but I heard it was great and I'm glad I watched it.
Yeah, and I've seen some numbers as far as like popularity of the show, like from a minute streamed. And you know, this is like Disney Plus doesn't, or sometimes they do, but like they don't always release exact numbers. So this is like an outside firm that's kind of doing this. But I think like the week after it came out, of all original streaming series, so not counting like The Office or whatever, I think it was like number 7.
Yeah.
Right. And it was behind shows like The Pitt. And I think number 1 was Bridgerton. And like Bridgerton had like, you know, 8 times the minutes watched or whatever. That's a giant hit, but it's doing okay. Now that's with a caveat of like, that's with all of its episodes out. So people could have watched all 100 minutes of it, right? Whereas like, it was actually right ahead of Fallout for that week.
Okay.
Fallout
Interesting.
has 7 weeks of that too, right? So whatever, you could spin that as it did okay. You could spin that as it's kind of a flop, whatever. It's by no means like a Bridgerton or even a Loki season 1 or season 2 smash. But it's like a modest thing. Here's the thing about Wonder Man. That was an extremely weird niche show to greenlight in the first place. Yeah. Right? That is not a household name character. There was going to be no like greater connectivity to the MCU, either the Disney Plus MCU or the film MCU. The tone is extremely unique and niche, right? And so I think a lot of this marketing is Emmy play. I think they're going for like the Bear audience, right?
Yeah,
The Bear, a show that has gotten 1 million Emmys, but has never been like the number 1 show on streaming. It does pretty well for itself.
Or The Studio.
Or The Studio.
Like a similar audience.
Which is even lower rated than Wonder Man.
Right, but then got nominated for all these awards. But gets all the awards. And won quite a lot of awards.
They are aiming this at like a very strategic targeted audience of like smart people that want smart series, that want kind of inside baseball in the industry or like to watch that stuff. And like people in the industry love nothing more than voting for shows about the industry, as evidenced by The Studio and Hacks. Like anytime there's like this is us on TV, like people are like, yeah, I love it. And I've talked to a lot of actors that are like, oh my God, that like watching Wonder Man, like it stressed me out so much, but also everyone knows that guy. It's
also,
real.
It's too real.
It's real. Yes. Other than the superpowers, it was real as hell. Yeah. And so I think, you know what? So all that is to say, I agree with everything you said, Gina. I do think though, if we want to, you know, play devil's advocate for the Disney PR machine or whatever, right? Like maybe there's some strategy there. And I will say, I appreciate that they're thinking outside the box. Yeah. And that like these moves, they're making bespoke stuff to market, like the Trevor Slattery video or whatever. I appreciate there's at least some creativity. Now, could they have put more muscle behind it? Could they have, wound up the giant Disney marketing gears more for it? Absolutely. They probably should have, especially knowing how good a show they had. But it's interesting to contrast and compare that with Daredevil, the trailer we just watched, which again, is presenting a very different tone.
Yeah.
Action, action, action.
And they're
Something
also releasing a lot for it too. Like they're
well, but that's only the second kind of trailer we've
I
seen
know,
for that
but-
show, and we're a month out.
Right, but I do feel like every time I log into Disney Plus, I have the ad tier of Disney Plus, and I feel like they're constantly sort of showing it. They're also like, hey, like watch Daredevil season 1. There's like now there wasn't a previous season of Wonder Man, obviously to point to. But like for me, I just want consistency because it's the weird hodgepodge that makes it feel like when you have a show like Ironheart directed by someone of that caliber who's done hit after hit for you, to not market it at all is like very strange. And like Wonder Man, like I have friends who are like Marvel heads who are like, wait, is it out? Like they didn't know.
Well, I kind of think both Ironheart for Ryan Coogler and Wonder Man for Destin Daniel Cretton. This is, hey, director we really like. Yeah. We want to keep you on the team.
Right.
We'll throw you a bone, but we're not guaranteeing anything, right? Like this is like a way for you to get your friends some gigs, for you to collect some executive producer checks,
which
for you
could,
to explore some
end
stuff.
up backfiring though. I mean, like,
maybe, but Coogler's not going to hate that he got more work. I don't know.
He's not, but I think ultimately, usually creatives of this caliber, they just want eyes on their stuff. I don't think Ryan Coogler is really worried about his next paycheck. I think he's just hey, I think I did a good job. I want people to see it. And I think they sort of run the risk of alienating certain creatives that have made them a ton of money. Sort of in the vein of the Duffer Brothers parting with Netflix because they were hey, we just want a theatrical window, and Netflix being nah, and they were all right, well, fuck you. We're going elsewhere.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Also, somebody check on Ryan Coogler's lake house. Justin Daniel Cretton's second pool. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I also think this is still, even though we are 5 years into Marvel on Disney Plus, they're still figuring their shit out.
Yeah.
There's been regime changes. There's been adjustments in strategy. I think we are not going to see that many more Wonder Man type things. And the future is going to be 5 seasons of Daredevil Born Again, 5 seasons of X-Men 97.
Yeah.
It's going to be recurring things because what is most powerful on a streaming platform is library, right? Whenever a new season of Stranger Things or Squid Game or Bridgerton drops on Netflix, the old seasons get the hell watched out of them.
Right.
And I think when the final season of Stranger Things dropped, all the seasons of Stranger Things were in the top 10 most watched things on Netflix, right? And so it is that is a challenge with Wonder Man.
Yeah.
Of you have those to point to, unless they make future seasons, which they should because it's a really good show.
They should, yeah.
But they haven't announced any plans to do that. Whereas something that is more built for almost yearly or regular release, like Daredevil, that kind of makes more sense.
But you're right that on streaming, those are not the shows that are getting nominated for awards. No one was nominating the cast of Stranger Things for best ensemble or whatever. And to me, even though I love Daredevil, Wonder Man has a much higher likelihood of getting nominations for actors, for directing, for for writing than Daredevil season 1 did.
Especially if it qualifies in the comedy category, and there's obviously lots of good comedies out there. But the competition is so much stiffer in drama, right? When you're competing with all the HBO shows and the White Lotuses and all the prestige TV, whereas you can sneak in as the studio and steal a whole bunch of Emmys, right? As a pretty niche show.
That's the studio hacks.
It was The Bear won the comedy award every year,
right?
Outrageously.
I think maybe that's done for now.
Yeah,
it's done winning awards.
Shout out to Jeremy Allen White, who goes to the Studio City Farmers Market. We were just talking about that in the office earlier. Okay. Speaking of promo, the aforementioned Destin Daniel Cretton, he was out there doing some interviews, I think, for Wonder Man, and he got asked about the Spider-Man trailer, when we're going to get it, what's up with that? Hey, dude, seems like it's already been leaked. Why don't they drop that junker?
Do they just not like promoting your shit or what?
Yes. The interview was with Big Gold Belt Media, and here's what he had to say.
I think it's so funny how people really want a trailer. I mean, of course it's going to come, but it's going to be really good when it comes. It's coming. It's coming.
The subtext is stop angrily tweeting at me, you nerds.
Yes. And we live in a weird world. We are part of this system. This constant media echo chamber that needs We need
fed.
food.
Yeah,
Yes, please give us trailers, give us news, give us
Yeah.
everything. But I guess like end of July, we're currently in mid-February.
Yeah.
It's still within a healthy period. It's not like,
Yeah.
oh my God, are they ever going to drop the trailer? And we've talked about like Spider-Man movies, especially the Sony machine. They kind of tend to wait a little bit longer than maybe Marvel, Disney, or DC do to release their first big trailer.
And also, like, again, I may have said this before, but like, I would rather they wait than do like a She-Hulk mistake, which is like, I would rather they wait and make the trailer as awesome as possible, because when you release something like a trailer before it's like absolutely perfect, the fandom jumps down your throat. And then before the movie even comes out, there's people being like, this looks like dog shit. Like what, let's boycott it. Like, oh, She-Hulk, like this looks terrible.
Sonic's teeth.
Right, exactly. So I would rather get it closer to the release of the film and have it be flawless, so that the like nerd bros don't say like, yeah, let's go on Rotten Tomatoes and downvote it now.
Yeah. Well, I totally agree. And I also think it's like, okay, again, from my job at New Rockstars, I would love 1 million trailers released as early as possible.
Yeah.
But as a consumer, I'm fine waiting till a little bit closer. I think the one downside is like, there's a lot of leak stuff coming out. And we're now in the cycle where it's like, we're starting to get pictures of Happy Meals and toys and stuff like that. And I would rather see like new characters, new costumes, new whatever in a perfectly composed trailer than in like a weird 2D, somebody took it with their cell phone through a display case kind of a thing. Right.
Yeah, I mean, that was the whole like Red Hulk thing when the Happy Meal like released it, and everyone was like, well, all right, I guess this has been spoiled, so now.
I wish I would have seen that for the first time in a trailer.
I mean, truly, like there's so much stuff that I'm like, oh man, if this was like, even if it was the old days and you could have kept that Red Hulk secret, that would have been a banger. But like, and this film was shot like you were not supposed to know, which was like one of my complaints about The Flash, right? Like once all the stuff about Ezra Miller came out, they were like, tell them that like original Batman is in it. Show them that. And like in the movie theater, I was like, damn, this would have been an awesome moment if I did not know he was in this. But that's not, it's not the studio's fault. It's like jackass leakers' fault. And the McDonald's team, for some reason.
Well, it's always the toys. The toys always blow it. Well, I'm also really interested, I think in part of the reason people are clamoring, people love Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
The last Spider-Man movie was humongous. Of course, there's going to be anticipation. But also people are like, we don't even know like what the tone of this movie is going to be.
Yeah.
New director. It's kind of like after this big kind of reset for Spider-Man. The little bits. And also we know like very little. We've gotten casting news and stuff like that. But like there's all these rumors about what the plot could look like.
But also like releasing a trailer early, like whoever is going to see Spider-Man is going to see Spider-Man.
For sure.
And I think that like in this day and age that we live in, a trailer is very rarely going to get more people who weren't going to go. Like no one's going to see a 45-second Spider-Man trailer and be like, you know what? All right, I'll check this out. So I don't really think it does anything for them to release it early, except to get ahead of those leaks and things like that. I think that, it's better to release it closer to the date and have a shorter window where you have to build up and maintain momentum than like release it early, because I don't know what you're getting from releasing it early.
Yeah, agreed. Like they don't need vibes or awareness. They already have vibes and awareness. Right. I mean, all movies tend to release, there's like a first trailer, maybe then there's multiple trailers, and then there's a 30 days from release trailer that is the tickets on sale trailer. It's kind of industry standard that 30 days, like that's when you could buy your opening weekend tickets and all this kind of stuff, and they all get snatched up for big movies. Like, how nuts would it be if we didn't get a trailer until the 30 days out trailer?
I mean, imagine like how fast those tickets would go.
Hell yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I think it does them more to save it.
I also think though, as the theatrical movie industry continues to kind of like grow and evolve to try to survive, maybe we start messing with that 30 days out. Like we saw those Odyssey 70 millimeter IMAX or whatever millimeter IMAX like sold out like a year in advance. Maybe for something like Spider-Man, let the tickets go on sale 90 days out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Why not? Just for opening night, just for the big screens, whatever you want, but like and drop a trailer for that, because I do think like these trailers, like they want that direct action.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Does this look sick as hell from this 90 seconds? Buy your ticket at this link.
Right,
It's an
right.
effective kind of call to action there. And then for a first trailer, it's usually just like the call to action of like, get hype.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah,
even
yeah,
better
yeah.
if they're like, get hype and buy your ticket at your local
yeah.
multiplex right here, right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, I think like also with a movie like this, which opening weekend is going to be a banger. Like, there's no way this
Even
just
if the
feels-
movie is a disappointment,
Yeah,
the opening weekend will be huge. Yeah.
So now what they need to do is like they need to make sure that like opening weekend is a banger, and then it maintains its like word of mouth, and audience doesn't see like there's no like huge audience drop off, because then people who were going to wait for week 3 to see it will be like, well, there was a big drop off in week 2. And I think that it's easier to do that when you wait longer to build up that momentum.
Yes, I agree. And I think like going back to your point, like as much as they are about getting excitement up and hype, it is also about like making sure there's little to no backlash.
Exactly.
You just don't give people a reason to hate it.
Or pick it apart,
Yes.
or yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
make sure the
it's just-
CGI looks good.
Yeah.
Make sure there's no like corny dialogue in there out of context or whatever. Yeah, totally. And speaking of Spider-Man and trailers, a trailer we did get last week was for Spider-Noir. The Nicolas Cage starring period piece show coming out in just a few months before Spider-Man Brand New Day, dropping at the end of May of this year. It's got a unique release strategy, this show. The first episode will be getting released on MGM Plus, which is a streaming service that does exist.
Yeah.
And then just the first episode comes out on May 25th. And then I believe 2 or 3 days later, all of the episodes are released on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Which Amazon owns MGM Plus. It's like their weird offshoot thing. So like people have asked us how we're planning on covering that show. It's also going to be a binge drop. All of the episodes will be on Prime the same day.
Yeah.
We are going to try, I believe, to cover the first episode
Okay. And then do a season.
by itself
Yeah.
around that MGM Plus date, both for the people that have MGM Plus or choose to sign up, but also for just people curious about the show. And then we will release a video after the Prime release for all of the videos.
Yeah.
All of the episodes. So that's kind of our current plan, subject to change. But I think, Brian, did we have this trailer pulled up?
I can't pull it up.
Oh, or don't worry about it. We could just we've already talked about it on the new Rockstars channel. It's kind of been out almost a week at this point. But weird tonal show.
Yeah. I mean, I like that they're sort of like taking these big weird
Yes.
swings lately. I think the sort of Batman universe is great at doing this. Like
Yes.
last Christmas was not this past Christmas, but the Christmas before was like Merry Little Batman. And then you've got like Harley Quinn, which is like hard R violence and swearing and lesbian sex. And like, so like in the Batman universe, they're like, yeah, what tone do you want? If you're a Batman fan, we got something for everything. We got little kid, like Christmas feel good. We got, like hardcore, like the Penguin.
The Penguin.
Prestige.
We got Clayface coming out.
Yeah, and I think that like Marvel and Sony would benefit from taking a page out of like the Batman book and being like, should we do weird stuff? Let's just see if this weird thing hits. I don't think anyone predicted that Penguin would be as big a hit as it was and as prestige a show as it was. So this to me is like something like, yeah, make it weird. Play around with different tones, and especially before another like very popular Spider-Man comes out, which I think we all understand it's going to be everything you want from a Spider-Man movie. At least that's what I think. So like to then release sort of like hey, here's another Spider-Man thing for like you weirdos out there.
It's also, there's a couple, I loved the Perry Mason show on HBO.
Same,
that did it with Matthew Reese.
Oh,
There's a little bit like Perry Mason, but he's a Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Hell dude.
yeah.
It's got a good cast. It's got a pretty talented people behind the camera. So it's like, and also Nicolas Cage back in his superhero, like spazziness. I'm here for it. I'm very interested to see, like, the trailer looked good.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see, like, what the show's like.
Yeah.
But it's also, it's just something I've never seen before.
Yeah.
That combination of things is so new. Yeah.
Which I love. Like, I want people to greenlight more weird stuff.
Yes.
I think we don't want to become just a homogenized, like, also, this is sort of the complaint that, like, arose about Marvel. I mean, was like, oh, every movie sort of feels the same. Every show sort of feels the same. And I think like, you know, that was why I loved Wonder Man, because I was like, oh, I haven't seen this from Marvel at all.
Yeah. And this will literally be different. I don't think this can connect to anything else.
Yeah, I'm sure not.
Both storyline and legal reasons.
Right. Yeah. Like what's it doing on Amazon? Like what's it doing on MGM Plus? Like no one knows.
And like that, it's a fun thing about some of the Elseworld stuff. You mentioned more in DC, but like, you know, this is set, obviously like Captain America can't show up or whatever because it's kind of in that spumsy universe of characters as far as we know. But like, I don't know, could there be a weird 1920s like Dr. Octopus, Venom, all these other characters that exist in the Spider-Man universe? Like we get it's mostly focused on this Ben Reilly character he's not Peter Parker in this, he's Ben Reilly. And then there's like some kind of character that seems to be on fire. I mean, not Human Torch, but maybe somebody else. Like
also, will there be any Spider-Verse Easter eggs?
Yes.
Like where we first sort of saw this character? Like, will there be anything like that? I would love, or there could be nothing.
Could be completely disconnected, and like he's fighting gangsters that have nothing to do with Marvel characters, and that's also really cool.
Yeah. Agreed.
So I'm really interested. We'll probably get further trailers. I would assume ahead of the May release of that. Speaking of shows coming up, now this is one we still don't have a release date for. DC released the first look at the logo for the Lanterns show.
Yeah.
Do we have that, Brian? Okay.
Well,
there it is. That's a logo.
Does it sort of look like the OG Pixar? Like there's about to be a lamp that jumps in and like squishes the T down or shading. Something?
Or like, it's almost like The Last of Us too, because it's like kind of dirty green at the bottom, like somebody used a weed whacker near it, you know, and kind of sprayed it with grass juice or something like that.
I really gotta say, like, I kind of think Lanterns might be shitting the bed a little bit.
How so?
I just think like it seems like a superhero show made by someone who detests superhero things. Like that trailer was very sort of like, oh, I feel like I'm watching a Chicago PD episode on CBS or something, not a superhero thing. And even with that, like, you know, you could have done a lot of cool stuff with like the sort of the coloring and the shading and the light from a ring and things like that. But they were just like gray with a little bit of green at the bottom. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt, but from like everything that I've heard about this, it seems like they're like, what if we like scaled back like the superhero-iness of it?
No, don't you feel like there's also a decent chance they're just holding a lot back in promotion?
I guess that's possible, but by this point, it seems like if it is going to be a banger superhero show, so show us some people using superpowers. Yeah. Like, what are you doing?
This is still like, I can't remember where I put this in our kind of like excited for 2026 lineup, but I think I had this number one. It's probably still my number one most anticipated show this year.
Interesting.
Just because of the talent and the potential. You give me True Detective was much like I was saying, Perry Mason with superheroes. I'm all in. True Detective with superheroes. I'm all in.
I don't know why. Like my excitement for this fell after I saw the trailer and sort of after like there were some reports where it was like, oh, like they're sort of changing up the direction and this and that. Because I do love, I just got done saying like I want them to try different like tropes and different vibes and things like that. But maybe not with a property that's like this big. Like maybe not with a property that they've continually sort of like fumbled this character and this series of characters.
It's a tough one to pull off. But I mean,
it is, the
Guy Gardner in Superman was really fun. He's supposed to show up in the show at least for a little bit. It'll be very interesting. The tone of the show is also going to be interesting, how they establish it. I'm very excited to get more. We don't know when. I think we've been speculating this could be like a late summer release. I don't know. We're kind of in this current cycle on HBO with Night of the Seven Kingdoms and The Pit. At some point, probably summer, we get House of the Dragon. There'll be all kinds of other shows sprinkled in between. So we're not sure. Usually they don't have two giant genre shows at the same time. So maybe this is either before or after House of the Dragon season 3. So
HBO does a great job of retaining their viewership.
Usually one thing rolls right into the next.
It's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna sign up for it until The Pit is done, and then you're like, oh wait, like House of the Dragon is like Dunkin' Egg, like oh crap, like they're just like you don't get a break. It's not like Netflix where it's like Stranger Things is done. You've got 2 years to cancel your Netflix until there's more Stranger Things.
Hope you like Bridgerton. Also, we got news that tomorrow we are getting a Mandalorian and Grogu trailer.
There you go.
Technically, right, we had the first big trailer came out last year. We got this Super Bowl spot that was kind of a Clydesdales parody. There's a lot of people kind of down on that. Like, why didn't you give us a real trailer? I thought it was fun.
I thought it was fun too. I loved it.
I want more silly one-off trailers
same.
for big blockbusters. They're definitely not made from footage in the movie, but are like fun.
Yeah.
Eric was kind of speculating, like, is this straight up like, hey, remember Force Awakens? It's going to be X-Wings. It's going to be monsters. It's going to be lightsaber or whatever, right? Like, I think so.
Yeah,
they're gonna be like,
I think so. It's either going to be that or they're going to lead in heavy into like the father-son cute thing. But they've been there and done that. So I do think that like they are eager to get that action-heavy audience, like the action-loving audience back to Star Wars after sort of maybe more heady things like Andor.
Yeah.
So I would not be surprised
too, right? Like, they're like, this is something you need to see on a big screen.
Yes.
You're going to want to be there opening weekend. Bring your friends, bring your family.
I think I think the way to do this trailer is like show us a chunk of the best action sequence in that movie, and then people are going to be like, "Whoa, look at what he's doing."
Yes. Okay. And now there's some kind of general entertainment news stuff that's been gurgling up here. Kind of the two big stories of the last couple of days. The potential merger purchase that will never die. The sale of Warner Brothers to either Netflix or Paramount. It's kind of entered in a new stage in that Paramount has submitted yet another kind of bid. They've changed their bid, and Warner Brothers is like actively, they've kind of like not accepted it, but they're like actively reviewing it. This gets really complicated and is like involves boards and shareholders and dollars per share and all this kind of stuff. There's a lot of speculation that like Warner Brothers is only like saying they're going through the full like review process because if they don't and they kind of just keep saying, no, thank you, Paramount, we're only going with Netflix, then that would be opening themselves up for lawsuits, both from Paramount, but also from their own shareholders who were like, wait, you could have got more money from somebody else.
Right.
But you went with Tadum because you thought they were cooler, right?
Yes. They have to be able to defend their, like ultimately whatever decision they make, they have to be able to defend that decision to their shareholders and say like, look, we are getting less money up front if we go with Netflix. But also they agreed to our 45-day window. They agreed to keep these libraries separate. They agreed to X, Y, and Z. And they have to basically say, we genuinely think this will make us more money in the long run. They don't need to pay up on that. Like they don't need to like 5 years from now be like, see, we made the right decision. But they do have to convince them that like, we went with this because ultimately we think that this is what will make us the most money for the longest run.
Yes. And you get into the weeds of this and it's like $500 million for this. And we guarantee $1 billion for this. And it's like,
right.
Now what is this all? Who gives a shit? I'll answer that for you. We were just talking about lanterns. We were just talking about, DC. This is DC being sold from the people who've been making DC movies since at least Tim Burton's Batman till now. Somebody else will be making those, or will at least be owning the people who make those. HBO, right? All of the Game of Thrones stuff, The Pit, White Lotus, any HBO show you enjoy. Cartoon Network, any Cartoon Network show you enjoy. Not CBS. TNT, TBS, I don't know if you enjoy those. TCM, everybody that is under Warner Brothers, right? And especially the movie studio, the studio that brought us this year, just in the last 18-ish months, Wuthering Heights.
Yeah. Any New Line Cinema, like any horror movies you've enjoyed in the past like 3 years, they were probably done by New Line Cinema under the banner of Warner Brothers.
Including Weapons. Weapons, Sinners, Minecraft movie, One Battle After Another, right? Like, they had a big year. They're almost certainly going to win the Best Picture Oscar and a bunch of other Oscars, either Sinners or One Battle After Another.
They're also one of the last like big legacy studios that still release movies at this rate, like at such a high rate, like releasing X amount of movies per year, which obviously the theater owners have a very, very vested interest in the outcome of who ends up with Warner Brothers.
Yes.
And they do not want Netflix to be that person, but also no one wants Paramount either, because then you're sort of run by like one of the most evil billionaires on the planet.
And it's taking 2 studios and making it one that's maybe
never good.
Not as good, right?
Yeah.
That's one fewer competitor in the market, one fewer buyer for things, one fewer releaser. Almost certainly you go from like this studio releases 10 movies a year and this studio releases 20 movies a year to maybe their combined releases 20 movies a year, right?
Also, a lot of people get laid off. Like a lot of like if you have a position at Netflix and there's that same position at Warner Brothers, odds are they're going to lay off a lot of people at Warner Brothers. They might lay off some people at Netflix. It's never a good thing when 2 giant companies merge.
Yes. And like, it's hard for us to say what this will mean for anything, because like this deal probably won't even close till maybe the end of 2026.
Yeah.
And then there'll be years of restructuring and changes after that. So it's not like, Superman Man of Tomorrow is going to be different because Warner Brothers gets sold. Who knows? But it's going to be interesting. It's going to change how we consume, what we consume. We were even talking right before we started rolling, one of the kind of biggest parts, kind of less visible parts of Warner Brothers for a long time has been their television production. Warner Brothers never owned a network TV station. They didn't own ABC, CBS, or Fox, or NBC. So they made shows and sold them to all of those networks, including some of the biggest television shows of all time, like Friends and Seinfeld. And like ER, I think, was also a Warner. Maybe.
Well, also like a lot of stuff, there are a lot of lots in California. Like you've got like the Sony lot and the Disney lot and this and that. The Warner Brothers lot is like one of the most gorgeous lots ever, and you can like drive down Wisteria Lane and you can see the exterior of the full.
Got a great studio tour.
Yeah, like they've got and it's just like the idea that maybe Netflix would then like sort of like sell off bits of that lot to like people making other things is just so crushing.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. And also me as an HBO super fan.
Yeah.
Very interested to see what that means for the future of that network. That is kind of like had the highest hit rate in the last 20 years.
And still takes a lot of love in their shows. Like it gives creators the support that they need.
They've never kind of compromised their quality in general.
And they let their shows breathe. Like unlike Netflix has a very different business model for anyone who saw that what Matt Damon and Ben Affleck were talking about how like, oh, Netflix wants viewers to watch a show and be on their phones and still get the show, like still get sort of the subtext of the show and all the nuance and blah, blah, blah. And they want, if you're scrolling on TikTok, they want you to still understand the plot of whatever Netflix movie you're watching, which is insane. Whereas HBO is like, if you're watching The Pit and you don't get all of it, like rewatch that episode. Like they want you like invested.
And also, that makes me wonder too, like, cause like obviously over the last 5 years, some of the most successful stuff on Netflix has been foreign language subtitled stuff, right?
Yeah.
Squid Game comes to mind, but there's also been very popular Spanish language things, other Korean things, all this kind of stuff. Like I have found personally, and I could be tempted by a second screen, right? Sometimes I'm playing with something on my phone or finishing an email or something like that while I watch. But man, you got to be locked in for something with subtitles.
Right.
And I wonder if like, even though people, maybe you don't want to read subtitles all the time, and sometimes you're in the mood for it and sometimes you're not, but it is like, maybe do people enjoy Squid Game 25% more because they have to pay attention to the entire show?
I think that people do. I think that like they've even like done studies that like if you don't allow like phones in movie theaters or they have to have them off or something, like this is why like everyone loves going to the
Alamo Draft House?
Alamo Draft House.
Though they just recently rescinded that policy.
I know, and everyone was mad. But like, yes, like you will absolutely enjoy something more if you are paying attention to it.
Oh yeah. There's also, I mean, I recently went to a kind of a repertory theater here in Los Angeles, Vidiot's, and watched a John Woo movie from the late 80s with Chow Yun-fat. And it was great because there's nothing like, there was a comedic moment. There's nothing like being in a theater full of people and like a written joke comes on screen and hearing people laugh as they all read the written joke. Yeah. Whatever. It's a wonderful experience. But yeah, anyways, we've gone down the rabbit hole of paying attention to Netflix, most of which is slop and maybe not worthy of your full attention anyways, but that's most entertainment. Speaking of slop, the other thing that has been gurgling up across the socials, Seedance 2.0. This is a video AI platform owned and operated by ByteDance, the Chinese owners of TikTok. They just put out this newer version of Seedance, which is kind of like their version of Sora or Midjourney, kind of video AI. And a couple of videos kind of went viral using this platform. This video of Tom Cruise fighting Brad Pitt. Then there was a Deadpool fighting Green Lantern. Was the other one I saw kind of blew up. And then not only did those videos get very popular, but then people in the industry started commenting on either the writer of Deadpool came out and said, well, we're cooked or whatever. Other people have been like, oh, they've finally gotten good enough to replace, whatever.
Yeah.
I have a lot of thoughts on this. I know you have a lot of thoughts too, Gina.
Always.
Have you watched these particular videos?
I didn't. I have a very I don't like AI at all. And I refuse to even watch it. Even if someone's playing a clip on Twitter or something, I'll click hide. Because I don't want my algorithm to start showing me AI stuff. So I just refuse to watch it at all. I saw a thumbnail in the Deadline article about it that was oh, Tom Cruise fighting Brad Pitt. But I will not watch any of it. I just refuse.
Yes. Well, and I watch these. I saw, I think Brian pulled a quote from an article on this from Heather Ann Campbell, who's a super talented writer creator. She has written for Rick and Morty, among other things. Also, Gina and I know her from Key and Peele. We know her from the comedy scene. She's also one of the most talented improvisers of all time.
Yes.
Just a creative force. Anyways, she was quoted. I think she did a tweet or something like that. She said she was unimpressed, saying, everybody is, I think, swept up by the circus that came to town and is showing off. I haven't seen anything good yet. Nothing that has taken my breath away. Nothing that is poignant. Nothing that is provocative even. It's all just garbage. And I think that's strong hyperbolic language, maybe a little bit. I think it's true. It's what gets attention? AI taking things, not AI, and then just having fun with those toys.
Right.
Has anybody seen an AI thing that is wholly generated, that is a quarter as good as the worst Transformers movies, right? Or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Right now, they are able to repurpose things that creative humans have used. But it's is anybody going to pay $16 to go watch a fully AI-generated film in a movie theater?
Yeah.
Is anybody going to subscribe? People aren't even willing to pay for ChatGPT. Right? Nobody is willing to put money down for this stuff because it is though it is the magic promise of you can, with a couple types of a keyboard or a verbal prompt, you can make a movie that you never could have made otherwise. And that is interesting. And that is a fun toy to play with. Just when I'm with my daughter and we put on the Snapchat filter that turns us into pineapples. That's really fucking fun.
Yeah, for
and it's
10 minutes.
It's a great 4 minutes, right?
Right.
And it makes us both giggle. Thank you, Snapchat, for those filters.
Yeah.
But am I willing to pay $16 to go to a movie theater where my daughter and I are pineapples? Well, actually, okay, that pitch maybe I would. But to watch somebody else and their daughter be pineapples via AI filter?
No.
Hell no. So it's as much as, and the studios, the guilds have all come out and been this is messed up. You can't use Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise or Deadpool, all these IP and these actors and these things like that. You can't use their stuff and just play with that without giving it credit. Especially, it's one thing to have Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise fighting. There's much worse things you could have people do.
Yeah, which they do to women, not to men.
Yes, kind of take away people's bodily autonomy and do all this kind of stuff. Whatever, that corner of the internet is probably going to exist no matter what. But I think as much as I think studios, guilds, individuals should definitely be standing up and setting clear guardrails about this. I am also maybe a little less scared than everybody. Not that I welcome our future AI overlords. I'm just unconvinced it's going to have as big an impact as some people seem certain that it will.
Yeah, my attitude of it is I still want people to be fighting like hell. I don't want anyone to get complacent and be well, this is garbage. It's going to be garbage. It's that scene in Iron Man 2 where he's this is garbage. Don't worry about it. And then, all of a sudden, a dude in a suit with
Whiplash shows up.
Yeah, he's oh, okay. I think we need to still be fighting like hell against it. I am not super alarmed. I just really, really hate it. I think it's like contributing to sort of like the enshittification of America and just like the world. And like it's directly correlated to like people not reading books anymore and not learning to create things. But also like what they're doing is very illegal and under any other administration would probably have like been taken care of already because like the studios have an agreement with the guilds that they have to go like after these companies legally. And now that Disney has signed its own deal with Sora, they have even more of a legal responsibility to get stuff taken down from other other platforms as quickly as possible. So I think now it just becomes enforcement. It's like they are using copyrighted material created by people owned by studios. They are using likenesses in a way that has never been legal. And so now we just need to hold them accountable. And once we do, in my opinion, it will crumble very quickly. Yeah. But I think we just still need to be calling for that people to be held responsible. It's just like the Epstein files, guys. Don't stop asking for the Epstein files.
Let's get into it, Gina. I read all 9 million pages or whatever. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it. It's going to be complicated. It's going to be messy. Mm-hmm. You know, part of this too is like, this is a Chinese company. Yeah. It was technically outside the purview of the US government. Right. And like people have talked about that. Like part of the argument for like AI maximalism, well, if you don't let the American companies go nuts and do whatever they want, then the Chinese companies will beat them and they'll go nuts and do whatever they want, which is a shitty argument.
Also, it's like such like mafia rules. It's like, it's like, well, if like this, the head of this family is like doing something illegal, we got to do something even more illegal. Yeah.
I think like ultimately there's just no demand for it. I had somebody, I read the email that is like publicly listed for new Rockstars, right? God, so if you dig around on the YouTube channel and like most of them get filtered out, most of it's garbage, but whatever. I read the emails that come in and like a guy sent us an email a couple weeks ago that's like, I've come up, this is my fully AI generated TV show. I already have 20 episodes. It's already on YouTube. Watch it. I watched 11 seconds of this show. Wow. And it was such unwatchable dog shit. It's like technically those are like attractive human faces that aren't moving or speaking like humans. Yeah. The words they're saying make no sense. It's like you couldn't have paid me to watch 20 minutes of this. Yeah. Much less you think this is the future of entertainment. Yeah. Like, I mean, you're a better human than I am because like I will sometimes people will find like what TV shows I've worked on or they'll look at my resume or they'll see that I work at New Rockstars and they'll reach out to me on LinkedIn, like total strangers. And every once in a while someone will say like, oh, hey, like I'm looking for a writer to sort of like firm this up or like a writer to like mentor me while I write this. And the second anyone mentions any AI, which like most recently someone said like, oh, we put together a trailer about a concept movie that we're trying to get sold. We did it like using AI. I responded because I don't want to just delete it and let them think like this is okay. And I responded like, hey, thanks for reaching out. I don't work with anyone who works with AI in any capacity at any stage. And then he like got back to me and he was like, oh, well, we only used it for this. We're not using it for the actual movie. This is to get funding. And I was like, again, not at any stage. Have a good one. And like, he clearly was like not thrilled about it, but I was like, maybe he will think twice now before reaching out to the next person that he wants to hire or pick their brain or whatever. Like if anyone, and also like same goes with like all of my social media. This like the second someone comes in and they're like, AI is going to revolutionize, I'm like, block. Yeah. Block and hide comments, sir. I think like, like AI is going to be big no matter what. And like we'll have impacts on things like the medical field and finances, all this other shit. We're not even talking about that. We're talking specifically about like the creative arts, right? And I think like ultimately you used a great word that I love, the enshittification, right? Like all platforms, when you log on to Facebook now, it is unequivocally worse than it was 5 or 10 years ago. The feed is garbage. Mm-hmm. You're being served just total slop. Right. I would like to think that YouTube, where we live and breathe, is a little bit better. Obviously, X has been bot-driven garbage for a long time. Right.
And now YouTube is like TikTok, half of it is
TikTok,
AI generated.
Instagram feels like whatever, all platforms, all of the web is just drifting towards lowest lift reproductive garbage, right? With like no humanity, no personality, no originality, right? And I think like ultimately what that drives towards is like people pull out. If I am like, I got 20 minutes to blow in a doctor's waiting room and I open up one of these social platforms and I scroll for 5 minutes and I don't see anything that's interesting, anything that feels real, anything I connect with on a human level, that's that much more incentive to delete that app and talk and turn and talk to the weirdo sitting next to me in the chair, right?
Agreed.
Now,
or pick up one of the magazines from 1989.
Yes!
It's like, is Demi Moore the next hot actress?
Or just listen to a podcast or do that. We all have too many options. So it's like the more these platforms embrace AI shitification, slopification, like they're only going to erode and erode and erode.
Yes.
And then like when it's that idea of like
trust and
when
consumer
anybody
interest.
can make a fight scene in 3 minutes, then fight scenes are meaningless.
Right. And then it like even becomes more of a like, well, we need to like drill down into like who like the sort of weird, interesting writing, which AI can't do. It can just consume every episode of a show and then spit out a script that is exactly like every episode of a show, but it can't create an all new thing. And also like, I also think that as more and more stuff like comes out about this, that we're like, oh crap, this is an unintended consequence. Like we're seeing like guys wearing Google glasses to like harass women now. And like Google is like, we don't want you to use it like that. Like we're just supposed to like record things around you. And it's like, oh, so this is an unintended consequence. And another thing,
I like that you just use Google glasses, which I think is a product that hasn't existed for several years. It's the Ray-Ban Metas.
Whatever they are.
Those are the harasser du jour.
Yes.
I believe.
Whatever latest thing gentlemen are using to harass ladies on the street. But like, you know, I just read there's this whole like Savannah Guthrie's mom was like kidnapped and they're trying to.
Oh, we know about the Savannah Guthrie story, Gina.
It is fascinating. And one of the things that no one is talking about is that there is no way to prove that she is still alive. Because they have, and like the police have not said like, hey, send us a video, because the police said it is impossible now to prove that that is a real video and not an AI generated video. So if these guys have enough time and enough like whatever, they can make a fake video of this poor woman. And they said, and that is how it will be from now until eternity when someone is kidnapped. And that's an insane thing. That's an insane thing that I never even thought of, that like back in the day, you could hold up a newspaper and be like, I'm still alive. Here's the date. It's real. And now you cannot do that anymore.
Because one, there's no newspapers. And two, the whole thing could be AI. Yeah, it's fascinating. I also think like with everything, there's all these shades of gray. There's all this nuance, right? Like just because I haven't seen anything. Also, like I don't want to be 100% dismissive. I've truly never seen anything AI generated that I thought was interesting and like wanted to consume more of.
Right.
Obviously, the day will come. There will be something like that. But you know why? Because there will be a truly creative person behind that content, right? I will still be watching the work of a person, whether they used AI as a tool or not, right? But is almost irrelevant. Almost like, I don't know. I don't enjoy watercolors, but like, I bet if I saw more watercolors, whatever. Okay, bad example. Anyways, this will not be the last time we discuss AI. And if you're a tech bro maximalist out there who's just waiting for the robots to take over, sound off in the chat.
So I know to block you.
That's right. And you know, these are our definitely biased opinions, as everybody is allowed to have their own biased opinions on all of these topics. I feel like that's a good place to wrap up. The next 5 years are gonna be fascinating. Like companies like all the like biggest tech companies are literally pouring more money than has ever been invested in anything.
I mean, to the point where if it goes bust now, we are very much in trouble.
Yeah, all of our, I don't have a 401k, but if anybody has a 401k or stock, they're all going to go down when like the
pull your money out and stuff it under your mattress.
That's right. Just buy comic books, you know, that's guaranteed retirement income. Okay. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Well, we're definitely getting a Mando and Grogu trailer tomorrow.
Yeah.
Word on the street is we could get a brand new day trailer this week. I saw Thursday floated out there.
Oh.
Could be cool. More news. We get this Lanterns logo. Does that mean a trailer's imminent?
Yeah, maybe.
This week is going to be the finale of Night of the Seven Kingdoms on Sunday. So maybe we get a House of the Dragon season 3 trailer sometime
that's a
soon.
good thought. That's a
As
good
we kinda,
thought. Yeah.
And
They're like, don't cancel HBO. We got this.
Yeah. Hey, swords and sandals geeks. Look what else is coming up. Yeah, for sure. So I think it's going to be, and we mentioned like, these are the shows we're getting in the next 3 months. Okay. Daredevil Born Again season 2. Invincible. The Boys final season.
Ooh, yeah.
Pitt continues. Night of the Seven Kingdoms continues. Spider-Noir now we know is coming in May.
Yeah.
God, there's like multiple other shows I know I'm forgetting.
Also, I think tomorrow is when the America's Next Top Model Tell-All drops on Netflix.
Oh.
For all you old school America's Next Top Model fans, they're spilling all the dirty laundry.
Tyra T, huh?
A lot of Tyra T.
Very exciting. And like 5 other things I forgot, not to mention like some big movies coming. Mario movie, Scream movie, all this kind of stuff. We're heading into the spring, and then that's going to lead right into the summer, big movie season. Lots of stuff coming. Very
movies
exciting.
have been cooking lately. Like I feel like if the world was like normal, I think like people would be very excited about movies. I like literally like just texted someone to be like, I still need to see 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, which I hear is fantastic. I want to see what's the Sam Raimi one? Send Help. Like there's just like a lot of bangers out right now.
And I mean, we're still getting like a lot of the Oscar movies are hitting
right.
streamers.
Yeah,
like I've been catching
One
up on a bunch of those.
Another.
Yeah. Predator Badlands just hit Disney Plus.
It did.
Go watch that if you haven't.
We all saw
seen
that
it.
like together as an office, and it was a delightful shared experience.
Fun movie.
Yeah.
I saw it in 4DX, and though I did get 2 of my vertebrae were crushed, but you know what? Small price to pay for such a fun experience. Okay, thank you so much. Leave a comment. What are you excited about heading into the spring? What will you do when the AI overlords take over and tattoo your eyeballs? And just say something nice for Brian. Thank you, producer Brian, for helping us create the show today. Thank you, Gina Ippolito, for co-hosting. I've been Zach Huddleston. You've been the audience. Thank you so much.
Bye.